5 best equity crowdfunding sites for non-accredited or beginner investors. And you're probably going, what's non-accredited investor? I want to be an accredited investor. Well, all Mogul smart girls want to be accredited investor. But if you're not a high net worth individual, then you're a non-accredited investor, which means you're limited to investing approximately $2,000 to $2,200 a year based on your income. But once you become a accredited investor, which makes over $250,000 your net worth with your home and your income, they calculate it on how much you make. So if you're a high net worth individual, you could be an accredited investor and you can invest more of your money. So basically the government is just protecting you not to waste money in case the startup doesn't go. And the one thing about startups, they generally take a long time before they take off, and some of them may not take off. So they're very risky, but if they hit big. And the people are always on the hunt for a unicorn, which means the golden ticket, like winning the golden ticket to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. So the unicorn is the one that is the big money maker. You've probably seen Shark Tank, right? So one that I personally use is SeedInvest. And SeedInvest, they were instrumental with working with the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, and they worked with Congress to help pass the 2012 Jobs Act. You might know that from the Obama era. So, and it also, not all platforms offer a full range of crowdfunding, but they do Regulation D, Regulation A+, and Regulation CF investment. So I'll go into detail with those later on a different podcast, but we're just going over the platform so that you can just log into SeedInvest and open an account with SeedInvest. It's SeedInvest. But some of the things you want to start studying and learning about is what's a Regulation D startup offering, what's a Regulation A+, what's a Regulation CF investment, because you want to know what kind of investments you're investing in, which means like how long and where your money is tied in. And and SeedInvest also says that they just accept 1% of the startups that apply. So that's nice, which means they do some some vetting of the companies, and the ones that I've seen on there I really like, and I guess I got extremely lucky that one of my first investments on SeedInvest, a startup, did exit, which means if they exit or liquidate, then the investors get money, and that was within, I think, a year and a half, which was, I got extremely lucky, and I made 200% on my investment, which is super amazing. It was my first unicorn. So that's why it gave me lots of love, SeedInvest. So I encourage you to study that platform if you're interested in doing a startup. And SeedInvest pretty much is, I think the lowest investments I've seen on SeedInvest, I think is 500, 1,000, 2,000. So you can only do probably one or two of those a year. So you want to be very selective in which ones that you're going to do. So study and research as much as you can. So the second platform you probably heard about is Wefunder. So Wefunder, they help a lot of startups, and on this one you'll probably like because you can do as little as 100. There's a lot of startups that you can do. You can invest as little as 100, 250, 500,000. So you can kind of like just dip your toe into an investment. So since you can only do 2,000 to 2,200 a year if you're a non-accredited investor, if you're a high net individual, you can obviously do more, which is accredited investor. They get different rules because they have all that extra cash flow and are able to do that with startups. They have, let's see, they also helped to lobby with the SEC and Congress to pass the 2012 Jobs Act, just like SeedInvest. And I really like them. They have everything from, you can invest in beer, medical, tech. There's a really cool startup right now that's like a virtual reality. There's dog stuff. There's just everything from beer to pot. And you can even invest into like stocks there too. Once again, you're limited to a total of $2,000 a year. So that's the Wefunder. It's WEFUNDER, so wefunder.com. Then we have Microventures. They were one of the very first online venture platforms. They've been around since 2019, and they offer traditional angel and venture investments to your accredited investors, but they also have smaller dollar amounts, which is nice, so that, you know, first time since 2012 with the Job Acts, this makes startups, you know, it's history making, that an individual could actually invest in a startup, which we never were able to do before. So I thought that was just amazing opportunity, life-changing opportunity for some people. So so you might want to check out Microventures. And so that's 3. Let's see what else I like. Oh, there's Start Engine. And Start Engine also was involved with the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, and Congress to help pass the 2012 Jobs Act, which, you know, that it enables non-accredited investor, the smaller investor, which is you and I, beginning investor, to look at startups and see if we want to put 100, 250, 500, 1,000, or 2,000 into an investment. And they, you know, had the very first successful Regular A funding of Elo Motors, which raised a huge $17 million from over 6,000 unaccredited investors. So it's like you're helping companies to grow, and I really like that, because sometimes you're like, a lot of people are good at businesses. If you're not good at creating a business, then maybe you can be really smart and pick a winner. And then, so number 5 is Republic, and it's pretty new. It's only been around since 2016, and their alums come from Uber and AngelList, so it brings a lot of credibility. And they use social user interface, and they also have investments groups, and they have really low minimums of investments. So like $10 for an investment, which is extremely pretty low, like $10. So instead of buying lottery tickets, I say, hey, put $10 into a deal at Republic. And you know, with these sites, there are fees. There are fees every time that you do invest, like maybe $6, $7. So there are fees when the investor invests something. So do watch the fees. So that's one thing. And so basically you will research the up and coming startup, and you take a look. It's pretty easy. Like Wefunder, there's a picture, there's information. They tell you like who the founders are, if there's any significant investors in the project, news, like usually the startup will be in the news, if they have a lead investor, how much money they're making, what's their business plan. There's question and answers on there. People have asked all kinds of questions on the site. There's just a lot of information to read, and you can track and follow people. And I'm going to just tell you some other sites that once you become a mogul girl, a smart girl, you're going to want to check out. And I'm going to run up the top 10 because if you're listening this far, I always give you bonuses and more. So Our Crowd, OURCROWD, Our Crowd, it's an equity crowdfunding platform. They do global startups, and there's over 30,000 investors worldwide. And I like it because they have meetings with investment teams, and it'll be presented to the investment committee. So they're really vetted. So they have to go through several stages before they're allowed to ask for fundraising. Founders Club, you might have heard of this one. Founders Clubs, FUNDERSCLUB, Funders Club. I know you guys like that because you're Mogul girls. It has software, and they have a global network of over 22,000 members, and you get access to membership, to the Founders Club's own team, and the Founders Club receives a percentage of the profits of investments, which is interesting. But the platform gets a percentage of the total of the investment. So that's just, they have the app, they have the platform. There's Start Engine. I think I told you about that. And, you can have access to an account manager, which is nice. And for the investors. And let's see. Start Engine. I haven't tried that one yet. But I told you I did Wefunder and SeedInvest. Those are the two that I've personally used. And there's a Glassdoor. They basically focus on matching a startup with investors. So that's kind of cool. You fill out your criteria, and they'll match startups that meet your criteria. So if you're like, I only want tech, I only want bio, I only want health, I only want food, I only want like small craft breweries, I only want pot stocks, I only want pet stuff, I only want shopping. So that could be interesting to you. AngelList. I'm sure you might have heard of this one. This one's pretty well recognized. AngelList, ANGELLIST. It is one of the most popular platforms. So, yes, if they want seed fundings, and there's a lot of angel investors there. And they also have a job board. So if you would like to work with a startup company, you can meet startups and work with them, which is a great way to learn. And you can post job ads as well. And it's a really cool site to meet a lot of angel investors and just see what they're doing. And also there's Investor Hunt. Let's see. There's over 40,000 angel investors and venture capitalists. That's where all the high net worth individuals are. And if you have a startup and you need funding, there's different plans, like $69 a month and Pro Plan $149. So that's if you are looking for funding. And there's a premium plan that even goes up higher to $299 a month, which, if you're a business and you're looking for angel investors and venture capitalists, they have the money. Let's see. And then you might have heard of Founder Suite, FOUNDERSUITE. And that's the one that's founded by Nathan Beckford. And it's helped a lot of startups raise. It's raised over $2.2 billion in seed and venture capital. So those are some startup investment platforms. And I'll give you one more since you guys are still listening and you're waiting for the super bonus at the end. Crowd Create, CROWDCREATE, Crowd Create. I like the name a lot. It also has a marketing service, which some people need. And they've raised over about $130 million. And they have a 5-step process to get people in front of investors. So step 1, identify using machine learning. 2, qualify, to select the top investors for your fundraising. Then the pitch, they write custom pitches for you. So you'll be Shark Tank ready. Introduction, you get on calls with investors and get feedback, so that's nice. And 5, optimize on a monthly basis. They tweak your pitches, so that could be really nice. So you might have a startup project because you're Mogul girls and we're smart girls. And, you know, whether you're investing in startups or whether you are starting